So we have a 6-woman tag. There is the Bellas and Natalya against the Riot Squad. So, very early on in this match, Brie Bella and Liv Morgan are in the ring, and Brie Bella begins to do her husband's yes kicks, or as Corey Graves always refers to them, the world-famous it kicks. And Brie is hitting them, and as she goes along, she starts to speed up, and so Liv drops her head down, and Brie kicks her square in the face. And, once when you do that, I felt like it was just bad timing. It was unfortunate, but it wasn't necessarily Brie's fault at that point.
Yeah.
But then after she kicks her the first time in the face, she doesn't stop. And Liv is already dazed and drops her and is dropping her head over. And is dropping her head, and Brie kicks her again twice in the face. And when that first one I can say is an accident, but you have to notice it after that. And when she kicked her again in the face, it just felt reckless.
But she may not have realized she kicked her in the face.
Right. And that's why I'm not gonna crucify Brie too much for this.
Too much.
Because it was an accident. I thought it was a very careless accident, but it was an accident. These things happen. And what I'm going to rant about is not Brie Bella.
Oh.
Because I'm going to give Brie at least a little bit of slack. I thought it was careless, but it was still an accident. But here is where my rant comes in. I don't know if you watch much football or the NFL as of late, but due to concussions and the research that has gone into CTE and everything that goes along with concussions and how dangerous they can be, the NFL and pretty much all sports have a concussion protocol. And in the NFL, if you even suspect that a player could have a concussion, he is immediately pulled out, he's taken under the tent, and they evaluate him, and if they suspect that he has a concussion, then he's not going to play. So this is where WWE completely failed here, is that Liv is unconscious in the middle of the ring, laying flat on her face, and the referee does not do anything. And Brie turns her over to pin her.
Mm-hmm.
And if Liv is concussed, which it was later reported that she was, then doing this is so dangerous, because once you have a concussion, any sort of second impact after that, it can kill you. That's no exaggeration. It can kill you. So Brie turns her over and goes for the pin, and the ref counts it, and I don't know that Liv kicked out or if Brie sort of just brought her shoulder off the mat for her.
I think that's what happened.
But after that, it gets even worse, because Brie picks her up and drags her to her corner to try to make it look like Liv is pushing her into the corner.
Yeah.
But really, she is dragging her into the corner. And Liv is limp. She's dead weight that Brie is dragging to the corner. And they get the tag. And at that point, I was like, all right, well, at least she's out of the match now. It'll be okay from here. Hopefully she's okay.
Right then, at that point of the match, if you listen, right before the tag's made, you can hear Brie say, yeah, she needs out. I don't know who she was talking to, either one of the Riot Squad.
Okay.
But so she knew something was wrong.
Yeah. So after that, though, is where this gets even stupider. Because after Liv is out, and I think that she's done, hopefully, but they do a suplex spot where two of the girls are fighting over a suplex, and then all of the other girls come into the ring and they all hook each other in a suplex, including Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
And she is the one that takes the suplex. The baby faces get the advantage and they hit the triple suplex. And Liv is taking a bump after this. And look, I give Liv a lot of credits for trying to continue. And it's just the thing, if you leave a wrestler to their own devices, they're going to wrestle. They're going to finish the match. It's their instinct.
Yeah.
If you leave a football player to play football, he's going to play football.
Yeah.
So this needed to be stopped. As soon as this was apparent, which was very early after that kick, the referee should have stopped this. He should have backed Brie off and brought out trainers and EMTs or whatever you need to do to get Liv out of the match. Right then, cut to commercial.
Yeah.
Get this taken care of because it's dangerous.
Because they could have easily taken her back to the back. Bellas and Natty could have dropped somebody from the team, and they could have continued the match just 2-on-2.
Yeah. So eventually, and the Riot Squad roll to the outside, and Ruby and Sarah are just like holding Liv in their arms, just like trying to calm her down, I guess, or something, just trying to comfort her. But over the break, Michael Cole would inform us after the break that Liv was taken to the trainer's room, but actually, as photos from the arena would show, she wasn't in the trainer's room. She was being attended to on the outside by trainers.
Yeah. And
I believe it was even picked up on camera at some point, is what I heard. I didn't notice it, but... And so then after all that ranting, and I still don't particularly blame Brie because it was an accident, but in this same match, Sarah and Ruby are doing a double team move, and Sarah tags Ruby in, and they're trying to do like the slingshot into a forearm sort of thing. So Sarah slingshots Brie up to Ruby, who Ruby is ready to throw a strike at Brie, but instead Brie comes up and elbows Ruby right in the face, as hard as she could, it looked like. And after that, and you could tell that that's not what they were expecting, because right after that, the Riot Squad just took back over and kind of put Brie down. And you kind of see, just like, as Sarah is leaving the ring after that, she just kind of like puts like her arms up, like, what are you doing?
But you could hear, I think it was Logan, say something to the effect of what happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't hear anything, but I could tell by their facial reactions.
Yeah, something was amiss.
And it was reported by a PW Insider that after this, after Liv went down, they had to call the match on the fly, obviously, but it was mostly Ruby Riott who was calling everything on the fly.
Oh, wow.
And Ruby has a lot of experience. She's been on the independent wrestling scene for 7-8 years, I think. So she's a very experienced worker, probably the best worker in that match, aside from Natalya. I guess they're right there with each other.
I mean, but not many people are going to outwork Natalya, though.
Yeah. But it was reported, at least by PW Insider, that Ruby Riott was the one calling the match on the fly.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. So Liv is out. It's a 2-on-3 advantage for the baby faces. And eventually the Riot Squad do get the pin on Natalya. And I think Logan hit Natty from the outside, and then and Ruby gets the blind tag on Logan, and Natty puts Logan in the sharpshooter.
Mm-hmm.
Then Ruby kicks Natty in the face. Then she picks her up, does the riot kick,
And that's it.
and that's the win. So, yeah, that was a lot of ranting to do about this match. I cannot fathom how. And this is a company who just ended their trial, I believe, with on the concussion lawsuits.
Oh yeah, that lawsuits. Yeah,
from former wrestlers that were suing them. And I support WWE in that because it's just like everyone on that list, they wrestled for more people than Vince McMahon. So it seems silly to just sue WWE.
and the fact that they're subcontractors, they know the risk going in. They know they can't sue if something goes wrong.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with the NFL and their concussion lawsuits. But the NFL, ever since then, has made so many changes to ensure that players are at least more safe, that they may still get concussed, but the goal is to make sure that there's no lingering damage after that, and that nobody's playing with a concussion.
Yeah.
And this was just completely incompetent for them to put Liv Morgan at risk like that.
And I agree it is, but then you just go back and think, how many times have we seen men wrestlers, Cena with a broken nose, finish the match?
Yeah.
Triple H, torn quads, finished the match. Nobody called anything.
I get that. But when you talk about brain injuries compared to those sort of injuries, you can finish a match with a broken nose and it's not going to kill you.
Yeah.
If you are wrestling with a concussion, it could kill you. And I give Liv a lot of credit for trying to finish the match. I'm sure that she was mostly just on autopilot and was just doing what her instincts told her to do. And Liv's really improved a lot since she's come up to the main roster.
She really has.
Because when she was in NXT, I never thought much of her. I thought that, she's not someone that I'd ever really be interested in as a wrestler. But she's really improved, and I give her a lot of credit. But this was just incompetent management, and someone, whether it be someone communicating to the referee or the referee himself, somebody had to stop this before it got to the point that it did.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so there's my rant on that. We're done with that now. We can finally move on.